Welcome to this video, where we will master FDA recalls for the PTCB 2026 exam. We'll cover FDA requirements, recall classification, the pharmacy technician's role, and exam-specific tips. The FDA's recall authority comes from the FD&C Act, Sections 501, 502, and 505. The FDA may mandate recalls under 21 CFR 7, specifying procedures. The technician's action includes verifying lot numbers, cross-referencing reports, and isolating affected stock. It is a key distinction to differentiate between a recall and a withdrawal. A recall is violative, involves product removal, and always includes FDA notification. A withdrawal is voluntary, often for minor issues, and does not require FDA notification. A Class 1 FDA recall involves a reasonable probability of serious adverse health consequences or death. The technician must immediately pull the product, complete the recall log, segregate it in a locked area, and notify the pharmacist. A Class 2 recall involves a remote probability of adverse health consequences or reversible medical effects. While continued dispensing may be allowed with a pharmacist's risk assessment, common practice is to quarantine the product. A Class 3 recall represents the lowest risk level, unlikely to cause adverse health consequences. This often involves minor labeling or manufacturing deviations. The recall must still be logged, but the product may remain available. A firm must notify the FDA within 24 hours of a recall decision. Pharmacies often receive notification within 48 hours. The technician's role includes checking rapid alerts or vendor portals daily, with documentation timestamping being critical. The DSCSA 2024 strengthens product traceability. Pharmacies must retain transaction information and history data for 6 years and provide transaction information within 48 hours upon request. Failure to trace can result in warning letters. The pharmacy technician's role involves segregating recalled stock in a locked bin, verifying and retaining packaging, and completing a recall worksheet. Documentation includes the NDC, lot, expiry, quantity, and the technician's signature. For a Class 1 recall, patient notification must be attempted and documented within 48 hours. The technician prepares the affected patient list and refers all patient questions and clinical statements to the pharmacist. The technician completes a return merchandise authorization form for the wholesaler. If on-site destruction is requested, it must be witnessed, photographed, and documented. Reconciliation requires matching credit memos with the recalled quantity. The recall binder must contain essential documents, including the FDA release, logs, and certificates. All documentation must be retained for a minimum of 3 years. Technician responsibilities include ensuring every entry is dated and signed. A common exam trap is assuming all recalled products must be returned immediately. Reality is that some Class 3 recalls remain saleable. Also remember that only FDA-initiated recalls are mandatory. Firm-initiated recalls are voluntary. Use the ABC mnemonic for recalls. A. Act fast and pull stock. B. Block sales with a computer flag. And C. Chart everything, including logs and signatures. This helps boost speed on scenario questions. Consider this sample question. Liquid acetaminophen with 150% labeled active ingredient poses an overdose risk in pediatrics. This high potency creates a reasonable probability of serious harm, classifying it as a Class 1 recall. How soon must a manufacturer notify the FDA after a recall decision? The answer is 24 hours. This expedited notification is mandated by 21 CFR 7.53, and the clock starts from the firm's decision. During a recall, the pharmacy must provide transaction information and a transaction statement to a trading partner within 48 hours. This DSCSA traceability requirement is crucial for establishing ownership history. If recalled stock is accidentally placed in a regular return tote, the immediate correct action is to remove it immediately. Place it in a designated locked recall bin and document the deviation and corrective action. Can a technician tell a patient that a recalled medication will harm them? No. The technician's role is logistical notification, not clinical counseling. Refer all patient questions to the pharmacist to avoid liability. To verify the chain of custody, use recall math. If 48 bottles were received, 11 dispensed, and 37 returned, the total accounted for is 48. In this scenario, 0 bottles are unaccounted for. This marks the end of our in-depth review of FDA recalls for your PTCB 2026 exam preparation. We hope these strategies and knowledge pearls enhance your confidence. Review the core concepts, the differences between recall classes, the specific duties of a pharmacy technician in each, and the critical documentation requirements. Remember the importance of the 24-hour notification rule for manufacturers and the 48-hour rule for providing transaction information during a recall. Master the technician's workflow for segregation and documentation, ensuring all recalled stock is immediately isolated in a locked area. Pay close attention to scope of practice limitations, always referring clinical questions and counseling to the supervising pharmacist. Practice using the ABC mnemonic: act fast, block sales, and chart everything for quick and accurate responses to exam scenarios. Focus on the exam traps discussed, particularly confusing voluntary withdrawals with mandatory recalls and being mindful of complex wording and questions. Ensure you are familiar with the 3-year retention requirement for all recall binder documentation, a frequently tested topic. Use the sample questions provided as a guide for the calculation, segregation, and scope of practice scenarios you may encounter. We wish you the best in your PTCB certification efforts. Continue to study these vital topics to ensure mastery of FDA recalls.